Hi, everyone. Today we're going to focus on Chapter 9, Section 3, or the converse of the Pythagorean Theorem. Today we'll discuss three theorems. First, Theorem 9.5, or the converse of the Pythagorean Theorem. If the square of the length of the longest side of a triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides, then the triangle is a right triangle. So what this is saying is if c squared equals a squared plus b squared, then triangle ABC is a right triangle. Now, let's move on to theorem 9.6. If the square of the length of the longest side of a triangle is less than the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides, then the triangle is acute. So what this is saying is c squared is less than a squared plus b squared, then triangle ABC is acute. And the image on the right also represents that. Now, theorem 9.7 says if the square of the length of the longest side of a triangle is greater than the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides, then the triangle is obtuse. So if c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared, then triangle ABC is obtuse. And the image on the right represents that. Now, let's move to a few examples. Example 1, I've drawn two triangles. And I want you to tell me whether they are right triangles. Now, the first step is to find the biggest side. Our biggest side here is going to be the 13.4. Now, we know with triangles that the largest side would always be the hypotenuse. So that's what is going to be our C. Now, 10 and 7 can be A or B. It doesn't matter which way you order it. So we have 10 squared plus 7 squared equals 13.4 squared. 10 squared is 100 plus 7 squared is 49 equals 13.4 squared, which is going to be 179.56. 100 plus 49 is 149, and that does not equal 179.56. So the question asked, is this a right triangle? No, it is not right triangle. Now, if we were to use our theorems, we would know this triangle would be acute. I'm sorry, this would be obtuse because C squared is bigger than A squared plus B squared. Okay, let's move to our next problem. I need to identify the hypotenuse. Now, this image shows us that 6 square root 5 is the biggest side, but if I were to also just put that in a calculator to get something, it would be about 13.4. So I know that's going to be my biggest side. So I'm going to do 6 squared plus 12 squared equals 6 square root 5 squared. 6 squared is going to be 36 plus 12 squared, which is 144, equals 6 squared is 36. Square root 5 squared is 5. 36 plus 144 is 180. And 36 times 5 is 180. So is this a right triangle? Yes. It is a right triangle. Now, let's move to example 2. Example 2 says decide whether the set of numbers can represent the side lengths of a triangle. If they can, classify the triangle as right, acute, or obtuse. So there are two problems in this. First, it says decide whether the set of numbers can represent the side lengths of a triangle. Now, we learned that triangle inequality is determined by adding our sides. So we take side 1 plus 2, and it has to be greater than 3. We take side 2 plus 3, and it has to be greater than 1. And then our last one would be 3 plus 1, and it has to be greater than 2. So that's going to be our first step for all the problems. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do that now for all of them. So is 8 plus 18 greater than 24? Yes. Is 18 plus 24 greater than 8? The answer is yes. Then is 8 plus 24 greater than 18? Yes. So this is possible. Is 3.2 plus 4.8 greater than 5.8? Yes. Is 4.8 plus 5.1 greater than 3.2? Yep. Then is 3.2 plus 5.1 greater than 4.8? Yes. So we have two that we have to solve. Is 12.3 plus 16.4 greater than 20.5? Yes. Is 16.4 plus 20.5 greater than 12.3? Yes. Then is 12.3 plus 20.5 greater than 16.4? Yes. Is 8 plus 40 greater than 41? Yes. Is 40 plus 41 greater than 8? Yes. And is 8 plus 41 greater than 40? Yes. All right, so we can solve all three of these problems. So let's go to problem A. Now, again, we have to determine if they're right, acute, or obtuse. To do that, I'm going to set up my c squared. I'm going to put a line here because I don't know if it's less than, greater than, or equal to a squared plus b squared. My c here is going to be 24 because that's the largest, so 24 squared. And I have 8 squared plus 18 squared. 24 squared is going to be 576. 8 squared is going to be 64. 18 squared is going to be 324. If I do 64 plus 324, I'm going to get 388. Then I have 576. What is bigger? 576 is bigger, so this is obtuse. Go to our next problem. I have 3.2, 4.8, and 5.1. 5.1 is going to be my c squared, so I'm going to say 5.1 squared. Put a line, and then 3.2 squared plus 4.8 squared. 5.1 squared is going to be 26.01. 3.2 squared is going to be 10.24. 4.8 squared is going to be 23.04. I'm going to add these up, so 26.01 and then 10.24 plus 23.04 is going to be 33.04. 0.28. So my A and B are bigger, so this is acute. My next problem, 20.5 is going to be my C. So I have 20.5 squared. And then I have 12.3 squared plus 16.4 squared. 20.5 squared is going to be 420.25. 12.3 is going to be 151.29. Plus 16.4 squared is going to be 268.96. Add everything up, I'm going to get 420.25. And then the other side, it's going to also be 420.25. So they are equal. So this is right. Now my last problem, I'm going to take 41 squared, so that's the biggest side, 8 squared plus 40 squared. 41 squared is going to be 1681. 8 squared is going to be 64. 40 squared is going to be 1600. So I have 1681 plus 1664. 1681 is bigger, which is the C, so this is obtuse. Now, for my geometry students, your homework is going to be out of the book. It's going to be in page 545. You're going to do the odds, 3 through 25, and then 47 through 53. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.